What's up guys, my name's Dychronic, yours here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be talking about this week at Bungie for December 6, 2018. Basically looking on what's going on in Destiny 2 over the past week, as well as what's coming up in the following week. And of course, this will be your audible version of TWAB, so make sure you sit back, relax, and take a look at the cutest fluffy on screen! You did not know, in a lot of my videos, I post pictures of fluffy animals, mostly because I like fluffy animals, and I also don't like asking for likes. And to be honest, there's actually a lot of things to talk about on this week at Bungie. I usually say there's not a lot of things, it's kind of boring. There's a couple things to look at. First off, just an introduction into, first of all, the raid. You know, the fact there's going to be some raid exclusive rewards for people. Do it quite early. Some Crucible updates with heavy ammo and a bunch of different nerf, buff, different sections here. A couple things on the Dawning event and an entirely different blog post over here, which I'll also link in the description down below, as well as a couple other bugs, fixes, issues, and whatnot. There's a couple things that are very nice in here that you should definitely stay tuned and check out. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I won't waste a lot of time. Black Armory is out, the Forge is out, and they reduced the Forge requirement by 5 levels, allowing people who are 600 to be able to actually play the activity and actually be able to do damage. So they did lower it by 5, which is not a lot, but it allows more people to get into the activity a lot earlier. Next up, let's talk about Scourge of the Past. They released their teaser trailer. I think it's like 30 seconds long or something. Yeah, 30 seconds long. Doesn't really tell you much, but it is a teaser trailer showing you, hey, it's the raid. That's what we're doing. There's crazy stuff, but they didn't show too much. But in this one, they're talking about the raid. If you're looking to get worlds first in the raid tomorrow, there might be some interesting rewards that you may be interested in. Now, the raid comes out on December 7th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So make sure you rev your engines, get your team together, and get ready for the Scourge of the Past. The Scourge of the Past. And if you do end up getting worlds first, you get this fancy ass belt. If you finish it within the first 24 hours, you get this fancy ass emblem, which is very exclusive. The last emblem, I think only 2 teams finished in the first day or something. Something very small like that. And if you do finish it within the first week-ish, until the Wednesday, yeah, until 12/12 at 9 a.m. Pacific time, you'll be able to buy this jacket at a heavily discounted price. Now this, I believe this jacket on the previous one was being sold for like $300 on eBay. So this is a very valuable item you may want to get your hands on. Me personally, Dychronic, right there. Boom, bam, right there. Dychronic, yeah. And this emblem, very exclusive. However, this raid was probably going to be a lot easier than the previous raid. It's still something I definitely want to go get. Next up, let's talk about the Crucible. First off, they're going to be lowering the amount of heavy ammo in Crucible. People complaining about the fact that there's too much heavy ammo, which is true. I've been saying all this time, heavy ammo, getting heavy weapons and covering the heavy position is more worthwhile than any tactical advantage. Also, very briefly, they just wanted to talk about how they're trying to fix matching solos with fire teams, because that has been a big issue. In this section here, you can read the very specific time. In case you're wondering, basically every heavy ammo will take twice as long to actually respawn. A couple of them even more than twice as long, from 45 seconds to 120 seconds. Some of them less, from 45 to 60. So if you just want to read that, you can see exactly what you want. This next section is going to be buff, nerf. In general, they want to be able to release more updates more quickly. And in this section, it's a kind of an FAQ-like thing. They ask a question, they give a very bad answer to it. In this one, I'm going to be translating what they say. First question, can you buff snipers, reduce the flinch, and give more lower zoom potentials? Now, the lower zoom currently is only like the supremacy. There are lower zoom options on certain things, but they're not as good as the supremacy. They're going to be looking into that to giving you more lower zoom options in their particular weapon archetype. They're also going to be buffing certain snipers, like rapid fire snipers will be moving to a 2-shot body kill, which I didn't know that was a 3-shot. Are you kidding? So yeah, they're going to be buffing snipers in many ways. And finally, they don't want to remove the flinch. The flinch is as they like it currently. That's what they say. How about Nova Warp? Yep, they're gonna be nerfing that thing to the ground. This question talks about, hey, Spectral Blades are great and consistent. Can Sentinel and other melee, the supers, get the same treatment? Yeah, they'll look into it. A lot of pre-Forsaken subclasses feeling underpowered. Can they get buffed? Yeah, we're looking into it. We're gonna be planning a buff pretty soon. Hopefully slotted in. Why does it say slatted? I don't know why. It should be slotted. Slatted? Am I slatted? Slatted for late January. Hopefully they'll be fixing it soon. Slatted. Any chance that the top exotics being used in the Crucible, like One-Eyed Mask, Charge of Gallon, will be buffed or tuned at all? Yeah, they're gonna be taking a look at it. The Telesto is currently the best though. Can you tone it down just a little bit? Yes, I agree. The Telesto is so very powerful, it is ridiculous. It is my favorite. If I get pissed off, I use the Telesto, and they will be trying to nerf it in a way that makes sense. First off, the number of bolts to kill does not match its charge rate. So if you compare it to another fusion rifle with the same charge rate, it does not kill in the same number of bolts as Telesto. So they'll be lowering it down so it will kill in the same number of bolts. However, it will have the significant advantage of the fact that it has infinite range and its explosive potential. So hopefully that makes it so it's still usable, but not ridiculous. Because right now, I think it's like a 4-bolt kill if you hit 4 people with those 4 explosions on them. That's like, what? Hey, scout rifles suck. Yeah, they know about it. Hey, SMGs, they kind of suck. Actually, we recently buffed them, but yeah, we'll look into non-precision buffing damage. SMGs suck. The reason, honestly, that SMGs suck is because of the fact there are shotguns, and their range is predominantly dominated by shotguns, whereas hand cannons can still hang at longer ranges than the shotgun, especially when they 3-shot headshot. Hey, fusion rifles suck! Can we get some better fusion rifles? Because the combat shotguns are better. Yeah, we get it. We're gonna be buffing fusion rifles, both in PvE and PvP, hopefully. Hey, any plans to adjust the wave splitter? No, actually, we don't want to adjust that. We'll take a look, though. Hey, Titan scanning is rampant on PC. Do you plan to remove it? Yeah, we'd like to fix it. However, we don't want to change the way lift feels to certain players. It's very nice to be able to move faster in certain locations and move quickly in certain directions. They wanted to make it so it feels the same. And that concludes the nerf, buff section. Next up, let's talk about the Dawning, which is going to be in a separate blog post, basically starting to next Tuesday, I think? Yeah, next Tuesday on the 11th. December 11th, there's going to be the Dawning event, which is their Christmas holiday-themed event with holiday-themed armor sets, ghosts, and vanity items, and activities. And I'm going to be talking about in this video. First off, Ava is returning, a Destiny 1 person. She was in the tower. She was the shader woman. And she's going to be helping us bake some cookies. Instead of some snowballs this year, we're doing some cookies. First of all, that's a fantastic idea. Second of all, that's really funny. Basically, we're gonna be baking some cookies, but we need to get the goods. We gotta go get some some different baking supplies out in the wilderness. My understanding is we're just gonna be Galler Doodles and chocolate chip cookies. I just read that for the first time. Oh, that's incredible. I think I just skipped over this, but apparently we'll be getting some certain ingredients, doing some certain activities. I assume strikes, Crucible, public events. Nothing really that complicated. And once you do get them, you can get some enhancement cores, some mods, some legendary gears, and an all-new Avalanche heavy machine gun, which is probably gonna have the same fire rate as every other machine gun in the game, and still also have random rolls just like every other machine gun in the game. I don't know why that this is something they're gonna be like, hey, look, you got a new gun. It's the same as everything else. Next up, let's talk about the Sparrow. This is going to be a very special Sparrow that have special effects during the Dawning. While you're boosting, it will spawn some Glimmer for people to go get, which is interesting. Only active during the Dawning. A Glimmer trick where you can actually get 3 to 5 Glimmer when you're actually land a trick, which is doing either like a flip of some kind or hitting a D-pad while flying through the air. If you didn't know, you actually do a trick when you do that, which you get some boost back, and you also now get some Glimmer. Only active during the Dawning event. And then finally, instant summon for the regular part of the Sparrow. And the last part on this section is that there will be triumphs in the Dawning. So make sure you go and do the triumphs, which I assume is the way you get the flying Sparrow, because it says you're going to be flying in style if you get all the triumphs. And probably my favorite part is going to be the double drops. Every time there's a special event, they add in something like a Dawning engram of some kind, which will also be dropping at the same time as the other bright engram, the etched engram, I do believe, which means you can get tons of different vanity items like absolute crazy. So if you ever wanted to get in and play, the DLC just released and we get a whole bunch of extra drops. It's awesome. We get ships, we get ghosts, we get multiplayer emotes where you get to high five people, we get some cool different emotes where you get to fight people. If we play hockey, you get some emotes where you get to bake some cookies in an oven of some kind, which is very interesting, and you'd be like, yeah, I got some cookies. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just wanted to mention it very quickly. And yeah, again, that starts on December 11th and goes to January 1st. Yay! Dawning! To be honest, I was hoping there would be an SRL, but there's no SRL! Ah! I really wanted there to be an SRL. Anyways, moving on to the rest of this week at Bungie. This next section is just going to be talking about updates, bugs, and issues, and moves of the week. And see, this blue thing means we're basically at the end. Bye-bye, people who only stay to this section. I'm just going to be talking very briefly about the updates. First off, Morgith had an issue where they crashed us. They fixed that recently. There was actually a really large bug with the inverted strike boss, which is something I do want to show you guys. Apparently, there was a bug with the boss. Hold on, no, I don't want to hear this sound. Bug with the boss where you have this guy spawning in, but there's a bit of a problem because this guy is spawning at 3 times the size. Why didn't they leave this in the game? That is hilarious. Why is it they're like, yo, we can't have that. This is so too much fun. They should bring it back on April 1st. They should make it so the only Nightfall available on April 1st is Inverted Spire and it's 3 times the size. Or maybe the only strikes available at that time are Inverted Spire with that kind of bug. Because that sounds so much fun. Come on, Bungie, bring it back. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. Something you should know is that tomorrow, at the same time as the raid, basically, is going to be the Gofenin Forge release, which is going to be the second Forge. The Volander's Forge is the only one in the EDZ. I think the Gofenin Forge might actually also be in the EDZ, but I don't remember. There's going to be a new Forge released tomorrow. Hopefully that doesn't make Volander go away, and it's just an additional Forge that we can do. And the very last section, some known issues from Forsaken and Season of the Forge. First off, blind wall matchmaking. They know there's an issue. They're going to be trying to fix it. While you were working on the fix, affected players should try to enter the blind wall slowly, hugging the right staircase and holy walls. That is the most duct tape fix I have ever heard, Bungie, and I read these every single week. That is incredible. Some people having issue with Mars Flashpoint not receiving powerful gear. I have seen that. My buddy has had that happen before, and I hope that fixes and that doesn't happen to me. Harbinger's Echo, that special exotic sparrow, the taken one for all the eggs, which is I think how you get it. Not everybody's getting it, which is including me, because I just completed it this week, waiting for this update, and hopefully they'll be working on a fix. And that's pretty much it. That is the end of the video. The only thing left is movie of the week. I gotta say, screw this guy. This guy. Look, I just wanna pause it for you. Look at this. Take a look at this. Do you see this? This enemy team, no modes banked, 15 on each person. They're all around the bank. Let me play it for you. How dare you? That is so goddamn infuriating. You go so many games in a row trying to get that triumph and that emblem, and this guy just goes, I'm just gonna missile every single one of them right as they're gathering around the... I hate this guy. I hate this guy. That's this week in Bungie. I did not recently get 15 from each player and was very upset along the way. I hope you guys enjoy. My name is Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Mike, you got some explaining to do. You got some explaining to do.